Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. It's time to, well, we finished the run and we finished talking to all our companions, so now it's time to talk to everyone we can be bothered with in Heoi, starting with Shadowlands. So let's see, Typhoon stalled offshore. Update on Typhoon Usagi. Infrared images of the storm eye to wall transition are really quite stunning, by the way. Typhoon Usagi is stalled in the South China Sea and is now weakening after passing much of the northern Philippines. Strong wind and periodic very heavy rains will continue as Usagi's arms sweep across the region. For the moment, Usagi is resisting the wind, which is causing it to lose strength. Prevailing winds will probably ultimately drive Usagi ashore west of Macau as it struggles to remain over water. According to Dr. Lance Inroki of the Imperial Japanese Meteorological Agency, even the most awakened storms have difficulty delaying the landfall for more than a week once they are in the South China Sea. Usagi will still be a full-strength typhoon when it makes landfall, but its delay fortunately gives people in the storm path more time to prepare. Look, babe, I made this cartoonified typhoon for you. It's got a little purse and sparkles and bubble tea and 8 arms with assorted weapons and necklace of skulls and everything. You're the best. The J-pop theme on the ammunition belts really takes over the top, Amanita. You're a special person. Saying Medical Services, a rising star. Has anyone else been keeping track of the Executive Council elections? It's almost time for the latest round and the competition is heating up. Up till this point, Santen CEO Sao Kok Chu looked like the best pick to replace Josephine Tsang of Tsang Mechanical Services. Despite Wuxing CEO Ken Zilling's rival with Chu, he had the support of both Yang Lin Fat of Shibata and Adrian Chung of Hildebrand Kleinfort Bernal. Now, though I'm not so sure, Josephine seems pretty confident she'll remain on the council. From what I've heard, she cut a deal with Ares Asia, Monobe and Eastern Tiger to stay out of their way. In exchange, they let her own Southeast Asia's large-scale construction projects. A kosher relationship like that could turn the tides against Tan Tien. Your screen flickers as a Trid clip begins playing. Josephine Tsang stands at a podium, addressing a crowd of reporters in front of a partially constructed skyscraper. With the finalization permits approved for Pak Tai Workers Complex here in Dongguan, I promise you that the prosperity of the city can only increase. This marks an auspicious day, thousands of new jobs in construction, tens of thousands more when the project's complete, and low-cost housing for every worker. Some have said Tsang Mechanical Services does not have the will to compete in a global market. We are only a force to be reckoned with in Hong Kong, Africa, and South America. I say that our good fortune is your good fortune. Tsang Mechanical Services is more than a local company. Our star is rising and shows no sign of slowing. I asked the residents of Dongguan, who among you does not wish for a better life, a wealthier, happier life, one where your company is also your family, and can protect you from the uncertainty of these trying times? We will give you that life. We will give you that protection and certainty. What a load of utter crap. Maybe crap, but the people in Dongguan ate it up. The idea of signing with a local company that isn't Baihu, and believe me, they count Tantian and Wuxing as foreign, was too much of a draw for them to pass on. I'm thinking that absent catastrophe, Josephine Tsang will be on the Executive Council in the next few days. Why do they count Wuxing as foreign? Tantian, sure, they're headquartered in Beijing, but Wuxing's just as native to Hong Kong as Tsang is. Wuxing and the Canton Confederation have been at odds since 2015. Wuxing's made a habit of exploiting the people of Guangdong and using loopholes to shield themselves from taxation. What's more, Wuxing was a primary mover in the founding of the Free Enterprise Zone, permanently stopping the Confederation's designs on Hong Kong. Tsang took a different tactic. Josephine Tsang started out by promising the Canton Confederation a very lucrative taxation agreement in exchange for a low-cost, long-term lease on their facilities in Dongguan. She sweetened the deal by treating them like family rather than adversaries. She's got them eating out of her hand. Okay, punk, metal, hardcore. Yeah, got a collection of over 10,000 different ridiculous metal bands, including triple umlaut bands like Umlaut. If there's an album you've been searching for, I might have it in return, and I'm in search of any weird, obscure bands out of my library. Let me know. Got any cybercore synth metal? As for what might interest you, I own the complete oeuvre of this German punk band, Messerkampf. Heard of them? Messerkampf? They're so mainstream, they're really big in the JIS. Really? Do they tour? No, man, I don't think so. Those Berlin anarchist bands never survive long. Besides, I think they broke up a real long time ago. They're probably Agent Wave slaves by now. No idea they're wildly popular on the other side of the planet. Okay, don't care. Looking for Decker. The next in the saga. Looking for an experienced Decker for a discreet milk run, picking a very special access card off of a wage slave. Potential for longer term arrangement. We're a team that's been together for years, running your basic heists and the occasional transport geek. Got a reliable fixer and a long list of happy clients. Requirements. 1. You must not take experimental stims during runs. 2. You must not tamper with chemicals in secret labs. 3. You must have a good sense of humor. Give me some Unit 88. Knock knock! You said a good sense of humor. It's a joke, you see. At this point, we're actually more interested in an experienced professional with mature adults' impulse control. Had some bad luck with our deckers lately. The last one had 2 left feet and couldn't seem to stop stumbling into containers full of volatile substances. Paul runs with Scissors 2056. They're looking at a name. I guess I should have known. So, are you guys desperate for a decker? Has anyone else contacted you? We can wait a little longer. Meet me. You guys are starting to get a bad rap, you know. Jinxed. We're sunk, all of us. Swim! As some of you know, I've a keen interest in urban planning, geophysics, and anything involving our eventual inevitable destruction. Appended is a recent summary on the rising sea level in Hong Kong. It expresses the issue in lay terms. Hey, Freedom Cowboy, you complain my post title's a little sterile. How's this one? Okay. From HK Newswire, Hong Kong's watery future. The Joint Corporate Developments Bureau has released a report on sea level rise in Hong Kong over the next 50 years. Since the year 2000, Hong Kong experienced 9 to 13 meters of water level rise, varying by location. Geologists cite a combination of Antarctic ice melting, natural sinking of Hong Kong's artificial fill shore fronts, and a forced subsidence caused by massive urban construction. Geologists predict that the continued rise in water levels over the next 50 years, with slowing land subsidence being offset by accelerating collapse of the Antarctic ice sheet. Quoting from government geologist Mingsha, I guess it should be, with up to 15 meters of subsidence expected over the next half a century, a large fraction of the current Hong Kong will become submarine. Due to our population and small land base, abandonment of flooded plains is no longer practical. Rigorous amphibious retrofitting of the city will need to continue. By 2100, the current coastal cities will mostly rise from a canal environment. Engineering studies indicate that major improvements will be necessary on the coastal seawalls and on Victoria Harbour's Zirang Wall, officially the anti-typhoon automated harbour defence jetty. Coastal protections will need to be raised by half a metre per year to counteract the total effect of rising sea levels and worsening severity of super typhoons. The Development Bureau estimates this may cost 250 billion yuan over the next 5 decades. Climatic models suggest that by 2100, storm surges impinging on Hong Kong shores may exceed 3 meters in height. Wind-driven waves during severe storms may reach 15 meters. Wow, so we're going to be running jobs from gondolas in 50 years? That's a message. One does some simple financial modeling and extrapolates the worsening severity and frequency of super typhoons along with the geological output. The actual message is more like, we'll need to abandon the city? WP, I take it back. Keep your sterile titles. What's so endearing about you as you talk about the grimmest things like an accountant? Double entry accrual accounting is an amazing system. If more operators took interest in it, they'd have much better long-term financial stability, as well as be better able to interpret and manipulate materials encountered during their work. It's pretty ironic that your handle shortens to WP, normally associated with white phosphorus. Actually, Hatch, it's not. It's really not. White phosphorus is exceptionally useful not only because of its hypergolic ignition and the fact that once burning it's chemically immune to water quenching, but also because of its high adhesion and biotoxicity. I don't take pleasure in these qualities, but I appreciate them. Okay, Merc Operative. See attached image. The human in it is Simon Zhou, Merc Fixer in Macau. What's the elf on his left? Anyone recognize him? That's Roald Hon, aka Whipsaw. He's not a merc, he's a corpo turned runner turned corpo. He's now a counter-disruption advisor currently under contract to Transys Neuronet. Zoe's just a broker. I'm wondering what Whipsaw's doing with the third guy, the troll Icebreaker. Icebreaker? Doesn't look like a decker. Icebreaker as in as big as an icebreaker. The ship. He supposedly run a paramilitary crew for a while. How did this guy? He vanished 6 years ago. Whole team went dark. They were called the Fleet. What is they hit a big score and retired? You guys, I got metadata that Icebreaker's crew got wiped out. Only 2 survivors, and you won't find them. Tin Helmet, I'm tired of your weird-ass rumors. Tin Helmet may be correct. One Fleet associate, Estrada, posted on the BBS 6 times over the next year. Another battle song was collected by a bounty hunter. See the connected image. Wow, thanks WP, that's fucking awesome. We all really needed a picture of a woman shot in the face and slumped over a toilet. This isn't a gore board. I swear you got Asperger's or something. Okay, Kowloon car bomb. Car bomb in Kowloon. This one had a small explosive but burned like an oil well. Voila! The guy was ripshot, burned almost beyond identification. Rigger rolls for the Fleet. Oh! Hey, Ripshot, that's the guy that we were framing. I guess he got killed. Good. Yep. Cool. Alright. That was the aim of that run, I guess. So let's get out to Heoi and chat with people. Alrighty, so we're gonna start with Crafty as well because she's the easternmost part of Heoi. And I think one of the most important pieces of this. A heavy scent buffets your senses. The scent of pure, unadulterated book. Woody, musky, dusty. The light herbal incense from before seems like an afterthought in the wake of the paper smell. Looking around you, you see the shopkeeper has abandoned her earlier feeble attempts at organizing the text. Several towers of books are now reduced to piles on the ground. A piece of paper caught somehow in a ceiling rafter rustles gently above you. Crafty, you in? You hear a shuffling of papers. An arm rolls out from under a pile of blankets and books. Crafty raises her head, a notebook spread out on top of it. The book topples to the floor. Oh, hey! Crafty clears her throat with a cough and stumbles out of her pile. Her voice is clear when she speaks again. Sorry about the mess. I was up all night reading. Or rather, up every night reading. You look dog-tired. Feeling alright? I've been better, if that's what you mean. Going through those notebooks has been hard, not just because of the sheer amount of information, it's been a nostalgic ride too. Why don't you take a break? No way, I've dug myself too deep to back out now. And I don't say that as a bad thing, I've made progress, I'm proud of that. The sooner I figure out these dreams, the sooner I can rest. Trust me, Ranneko, I'll make up for it in spades and naps. So that's your plan. Remember to pace yourself, you won't get anything done if you become sick. You make a good point, and I appreciate the advice, but don't worry, it's not a total slog. These journals are just as exciting as they are laborious. So, what's the latest? The latest, She walks to a glass table and starts tossing books off of it. As she digs through them, you realize the table's not actually a table, but a glass display full of dried medicinal ingredients. Crafty withdraws a notebook from the pile. Its binding unraveling, the pages holding on for dear life. Here we go, this one's loaded. Give me the highlights. Got a couple of big finds. Mum's notes are a mess, so I boiled them down to the most important information. An exorcism and the Yama Kings. Where do you want to start? Let's start with the exorcism. She flipped through the notebook and after locating the right page, lays the book on the counter. Her index finger glides across the notes as she summarizes the contents. On one of Mum's trips to the Walled City, she decided to check out an archway, an old crumbling relic that the relic's believed to be haunted. Mum wasn't sure about the hauntings, but upon entering the area, she immediately felt it was a place of concentrated ki. I know someone has mentioned that same arch is from the Walled City. I believe that. It's a fairly prominent landmark. It seems to me most people from the Walled City will at least heard of it. What did she say? Can boil it down to creepy. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. At least that's what my mother wrote. It was seriously bad. Go on. The key wasn't like your standard run-of-the-mill energy. Even for the Walled City, this key was exceptionally dark, and it all seemed to gravitate towards the arch. So she did what any kook of her magic brand would do, a Taoist exorcism. Did something explode? You could say that. The exorcism failed. Something happened to her. She broke. My mother had entered the city strong, confident, and capable when she left that day. It's hard to explain. It's as if the experience left her vulnerable to those base horrors within the Walled City. She grew paranoid and became frail of mind and body, a mere shadow of her former self. It's as if she witnessed something and it changed her. She became more obsessed than ever. That's how I remember her now, as that broken woman. Not sure how this fits into our investigation, but if that sort of malevolence is coursing through the Walled City, it's no wonder people who live there experience such terrible dreams. So tell me about the Yama Kings. Tell me, what do you know about them? I've heard stories about them in my own research. Personally, I'd only heard about the Yama Kings in fables and myths, things to scare children to sleep, to inspire awe. As you can guess, intimate knowledge about the imaginary beings is largely non-existent. And here, we found the demons of the Walled City. Through my mother's excursions into the slums, she came to learn that residents had their own unique Yama Kings, distinct from the traditional ones. The people there are segregated from the rest of Hong Kong. Over time, they began to believe their home was possessed by local demons. Makes sense, considering the place's penchant for crime and disaster. Do the Yama Kings have names? There were three Mum knew of: Lam Vi, Fu Mang, and Quan Ya. Each Yama King is associated with the negative energy from which they feed. Lam Vi feeds from cowards, Fu Mang the guilty, and Quan Ya the slaves. Unfortunately, my mother's handwriting declined with her sanity. She has a lot of details in here about these local Yama Kings, but I can only make out bits and pieces. There's a list, something here about rules, maybe laws of some sort. The thing that stood out to me is here. It's about the propriety surrounding ownership in deals, exchanges, negotiations, luncheons? No, that last part can't be right. Anyway, it says that Yama Kings, under rules or laws, must adhere to the terms of a deal. And there's something else, but... nope, sorry, can't read it. Can't read anything past that. You know, it's strange to me that Mum found these mystical beings significant enough to mention in her document. It makes me wonder if she thought they were real or connected to the curse she believed in. It's not the best lead, but it's a step in the right direction. And Mysterious Elf. He is in all three of the Shadowrun Returns games. This austere, refined-looking elf is browsing the shop's collection of telesma, herbs, and crystals. Noting your approach, he turns to face you. Good evening, my friend. I hope it's been a pleasant one. I've had worse, I guess. Indeed, with so much misery and pain only meters away, permeating the Walled City, worse is a quality that is quite tangible here in Heoi. I do not envy those trapped within those boundaries. My name is Algernon Halfdream, and it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Algernon does not extend his hand, but he does incline his head politely. It's not quite a bow, but almost. You got some interesting eyes there, Algernon. Do I? I've never really thought about them, to tell you the truth. They allow me to see, and there the relationship ends. Surely there must be many people in Heoi with interesting eyes. Cybersurgery is so common these days as to be almost routine. Yours don't look like cyber eyes, though. Of course they don't. They are my natural eyes. A bit peculiar, I suppose, but no more so than dogs with a paralyzing howl, telepathic cats, or the occasional vampire. The modern world is full of unusual sights. You don't sound like a local. No, I am not, I must admit, though I have been to Hong Kong many times in the past. I was acquainted with Meow's mother, Eleanor. Algernon spares a moment to survey the shop. I must say it's been kept in wonderful condition, if not improved somewhat. Can't quite place your accent. I've been travelling for my entire life, and rarely stay in one locale for long. I would consider nowhere and everywhere my home. When you speak as many languages as I do, it is inevitable that they begin to bleed together, though I've always had a particular fondness for Cantonese. It has a lyrical quality few other languages can match. Have you been in the walled city? No. I have looked around outside and spoken to some residents who trade at the edge, but I have not entered it. The misery and hopelessness of those within is overwhelming. I would prefer not to venture too near such a well of negativity, but those emotions have colored and warped astral space in a unique fashion, one I felt was worth studying, albeit from afar. Such a waste of human potential. To think all the ways the world and fate have failed those people. You a mage or a shaman? What makes you think I am either of them? Perhaps I am simply an inquisitive soul. Of course, a merely inquisitive soul would not be interested in purchasing any of this. I am perhaps both, or neither. The nature of magic is fluid, especially in these tumultuous times, so soon after the dragons have awoken. Too many people try to draw binary divisions between methods of thaumaturgy. At the heart of things, there is will, there is power, and there is change. See you later, Al. Safe travels, my friend. Okay. Cool. Now let's chat with Jin. See how they're doing. Probably tell us to hurry up again. Luca's back. Why don't you go egg a car or something and leave us alone? Checking up on the dream thing? This again? Don't you have anything better to do? Yes, we're all still having the dreams. However, gotten a hell of a lot worse. Any details? Sure. This seems to be the same one. Yeah. Nothing more to add. No, nothing. Yeah, this is the same one. So we seem to be repeating this. Yep. Alright. Enjoy your game. Okay. Ooh, hello. There's something down here. Okay. Yeah, I will take that trauma kit. Delightful. 500 million worth of trauma kit. Ranneko, here's looking at you. Reliable Matthew gives you a big wink and a shooter sign. His eyes don't seem to reflect the emotion, as usual. You in the market for a high-powered grade A autonomous helpers, or are you here to hang out? Because if you're just here to hang out... Matthew's synthetic personality seems to flicker for a moment. His expression pulses back and forth between smarmy cheer and something like shy happiness. That'd be okay by me. I'm just hanging, Matthew. Good to see ya. Right on, beautiful, right on. Reliable Matthew smiles blissfully. Looking around at the docks, he admires the looming impressive mass of the walled city. Take your time, make yourself at home. We'll be right here if you need anything. He flashes you a big smile, exaggerated and fake looking, yet also somehow genuine. It's good having you around. Okay. Actually, I also want to see what you got for sale. Let's take a look at your drones. Okay, so. You got any cooler drones yet? Nope, 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 nope. Will you get them when we got them? Required drone. Wait, okay. So these are, in fact, cooler drones. So if we boost to drone control 5, we can get a steel links. I rather the one without. Yeah, we could get like both of these. We could also sell off our current drones as part of that. Dopey and Strato. That gives 1500. How much cash we got? 36. So that gives, yeah, we could basically not quite afford them. Okay. So firstly, goodbye. Items, 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 items. Okay, we are definitely getting drone control 5 right now. So we go here, and we go drone control 5. We don't need these two yet. We might get them, but not just yet. Okay. So, then, we can sell off some of our crap. What do we want to get rid of? We can get rid of some of these. We could get rid of the trauma kit, in fact. We just need to not die. Easy. Let's look at drones. Let's sell items. So, we're going to sell Dopey and Strato. Yep. We're also going to sell something else. We could sell Wild Aim. We could sell Secure Clothing. We could sell this for... Alright, we need another 150. You know what? We will sell Wild Aim. We're not going to use that. And we will sell the Mummy Spirit Talisman. We'll sell both of these. That gives us 700. So I'm going to get the Steel Length, and then we'll get... we're not going to get the Strato, obviously, because we already have something better. Do we get the Sundowner? Or do we get the Assist? I think we get the Sundowner. Yeah. Okay, so now we've got new drones. Excellent. Like the old song say, a droney day is a happy day. Let's talk about your medicine. My medicine? I can't think of the thing to talk about except how nice it is to see you. Nothing but blue eyes and blue skies over here. Can you unchip? I'd like to talk to you. Alright, beautiful, alright. He's clutching a cigarillo tensely between his fingers. He reaches up into his hair. With a faint click, he removes the chip. His expression goes slack and shoulders slump. Matthew struggles to maintain eye contact as a slow tide of melancholy washes over his face. Hi, Ranneko. Here we are. Why are you doing this to yourself? You were too. I know what people think. Some people like Ambrose don't look down on me, but everyone else, I just want them to leave me alone. I just want to be left alone, okay? Let's see. It's okay, friend. I understand. You can go back now. Just, thanks for being real. For a minute. Thanks, Ranneko. I know what I'm doing. I'm going back now. He reaches back up into his head. There's a faint click as he snaps the beetle back into his data jack. His back ripples as he pulls himself upright, and his face transforms with a sudden surge of feeling. Ranneko, that was real. I mean real, beautiful. You got some chops on you. Whew. He adjusts his tie with exaggerated gusto. You know something I think about, may I tell you, it's gonna blow your socks. Sure, Matthew, go ahead. You're a peach, beautiful. So let's get real, really real. I'm not Matthew Shun, I'm not Cool Blue Jazz, I'm both. I think about a lot where I'm from. Some coked up dude on a sim rig recording his feelings, mass produced in a factory, shipped out like a commodity. And this other guy on a slowly sinking gasoline reeking drone lot, called a merchant of poverty by his neighbors, alone with his drones, the moldy smell of his trailer. It makes me angry, Ranneko, angry about this heartless shit heap that calls itself meta-humanity, but also proud. Tell it, Matthew. I'm proud because I'm more than the sum of my parts. Whatever aimless tweaker my feelings come from, they merge with the guy who's never had a chance, and they alleviate his pain. I live a life of honor. I'm like a knight errant, a Yuxa, the summon of Geodo. I fight for humanity. Thanks for reaching out to Matthew. Don't you worry, I'm watching out for him. As long as there's chips, I won't get tired. I never leave. Now let's get back to it. Beautiful. Geodal's swordman? You're, not like a Tang Dynasty warrior, Matthew. Oh yes, I am. And this, he waves his now dead cigarillo, is my frosty blade. Hail to the hero, beautiful. Injustice, watch out. Now, he breaks out a fresh cigarillo, rips off the auto-igniter with gusto, a burst to life in a puff of rank blue smoke. He regards you with a sly, exaggerated smile. Now, my honorable brethren in arms, how can I brighten your day? Goodbye, Matthew. I already spent my money with you. So, and that is kind of a problem that I run into in this game. I'm trying to serve too many masters. Like, I will never be a great decker and a great rigger at the same time. Obviously, I'm literally ignoring one of the two things that is meant to help you with decking. But this is almost certainly enough. So, it's really this investment that's probably killing a lot of it. On the body, the quickness, you know, not ideal. But it's really this investment that's taken Sorry, this investment is taking the most karma. And I'm still not sure I want to stop, so... Ah well. Like, you want to get up to here. Although, ideally, you want to get all the way up to here. Right? I mean, there's not any point in expanding this, except that it also caps this. But yeah, that, I think, will be post-campaign. Anyway. Let's chat with Kindly Cheng's friendo. In the Mahjong Parlor. Dr. Shen Yang. A rotund, balding dwarf in a cheap suit turns to face you. Light glints from the heavy gold chains that hang around his neck. When he speaks, the voice that greets your ears is high and nasal. It has been contorted into a rough approximation of a New York accent. Pleased to meet ya. Cheng was kind enough to arrange this little sit-down between us. You can call me Dr. Shen Yang. Why are you named after? Let's shake his hand. Pleased to meet you. I'm Ranneko. His grip is as soft as his palm is moist. It's like shaking hands with a boneless ham. You share a long, uncomfortably flaccid handshake before he finally releases you. Oh, I'm looking for a little outside help on a problem I've been having. Jeez, my New York accent is awful. Apologies. Ordinarily, I'd handle it myself, but I have some friends to... I'll have some of my friends to see to it. Wise guy, eh? But it's kind of delicate, you know? Nah, just immediately morph into a different accent. My guys be noticed before they made any headway on my problem. So I figure, hey, I hire contractors all the time. Might as well get some contractors of a different stripe. Tell me about your problem. Maybe we can help. I run a little film studio, Southern Crow Films. We mostly do trid work, but we record some sims too. Maybe you've heard of my stuff. Space Mongols from the Moon, Flavor of Pomegranates, Ultimate Kill Squad. No, but I like the sound of Ultimate Kill Squad. How much killing do they do? A lot. There's this one scene where two trolls gang up on an elf and they will... I don't want to spoil it, but believe me, it's glorious. I'll send a copy over to Chang so you can see it out, so you can take a look. Anyway, there's this other guy in the industry and we've been butting heads since day one. His name's Neville Ma. He runs the Yellow Spring Studios. No matter what I do, I can't shut him out of the biz. He always manages to get one over on me, steal my stars. He's been running me into the ground with this show called Promises in Moonlight. The star's a girl named Penelope Wong, new talent, but the viewers have been going nuts over her. She's the show's linchpin. Hang on, getting there. So about 6 months ago, Neville was out in Guangzhou for some hoity-toity party. He's on the road, probably drunk. A semi comes out of nowhere and pow, wrecks his fancy new Eurocar Westwind. Bad luck to Neville, good for me. I figure, hey, that's the end of him for a year. Let's start planning some new stuff. He can't compete with me from inside the hospital. You follow me so far? Let me guess. He managed to find a way to compete with you from the hospital. No, worse. Bastard's out of the hospital. It's back in the game, bringing out Season 2 of Promises in Moonlight. I need that show off the air, one way or another. And that, my friend, is where you come in. How long did it take him to recuperate? I tell you, he should have been in that hospital for at least 3 months, and in physical therapy a lot longer. It only took him a week to get out. Couldn't freaking believe it. That kind of medical care costs top dollar. He's got a lot of money, but not that much. Recovery times of that means one of two things going on. Nev could have found himself a silent partner, someone willing to pay top dollar for cutting-edge care. Don't think it's likely. Could have happened. If it ain't that, Smart Money says it's been skimming off the top of the Yellow Springs earnings and not reporting it to the other shareholders. And you want me to look into that, I take it. I need you to go get me something to blackmail Nev with. Find out how he could afford to get out of hospital so fast. He works out of his penthouse most days, so such as computer, closet, sock drawer, whatever. Gotta be something incriminating in there. And where's the penthouse? Nev lives in the Repulse Bay. It's a real swanky joint. South end of Hong Kong Island by the bay, same name. Haven't been able to get anyone to poke around his apartment because security's too tight. Lucky for you, though. Nev's throwing a party on the mezzanine level with all the shops and restaurant and balcony and such. He's celebrating the second season launch of his show, and everyone's going to be there. Gonna make a real snarl for the building security. You might also want to hit up the party if you can bluff your way in. Everyone close to Nev will be there. And most of them will be 3 sheets to the wind by the time you get there. Some discreet distancing questions might get me the dirt I need. Just remember, if you go to the party, shouldn't use your real name. Go with Argyle. Should be safe. If there's nobody in the business here with that name, so no one's going to ask any question about how your work's going. Hit the apartment, dig up blackmail info. Hit apartment, hit party, dig up blackmail info, and Neville Ma. Sounds easy enough. Oh yeah, Cheng talked you up when she approached me with the job. Given what she told me, this job should be a piece of cake. Now, blackmail material's what you need more than anything else. But if you can get Penelope Wong out of her contract, I'll pay you extra. I want that star power on my side. One last thing. I don't want you starting a scene while you're there. You interrupt his party or make a mess or trash his apartment, and I'm not paying you. We clear on that? Yeah, we're clear. Good. Count on my knowing I'm after him. In my business, everyone's got dirty tricks. But you make it public you're using them? That's it. The career's dead as a People's Republic of China. No one will work for me or with me ever again. So don't embarrass me. Got it? Understood. I'll be discreet. It's fine. That's what I'd like to hear. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You can get paid and I'll get the word out you're a solid hire. Don't seem like a deal. Sounds like we have a deal then. Whatever. Good man. That's what I'd like to hear. When you're done, drop Cheng a line. I'll come back here and I'll hand over the money. Okay, so that's basically got us the run as well. Okie dokie. So we've got 2 runs right now. We can do them both. It's fine. So we can chat with Spidey. Hey Spidey, what's up? Be with you in a second, just seeing if an order is complete. Right then, what can I do for you? I thought you didn't sell your animals. I don't, especially not the venomous ones, but this is different. I'm brokering a deal between a reptile wholesaler and a friend of mine who needs a lot of snakes for his next shred production. Ever met Dr. Shen Yang? Yes, I have actually, but I couldn't say that. Well, you'll know him if you see him. Greasy little dwarf who's friends with Candy Cheng. He's a cut-rate shred producer who produces some of the most god-awful films I've ever seen. He's always got some scam or other up his sleeves. His films suck, but his schemes seem to pay out. So these snakes are for his next shred movie. I think he's calling it Martian Snake Witches of the Fourth Reich, some terrible science fiction movie about time-traveling wizards from the future. God knows where he gets the funding for these ideas. They sure don't sell for crap. This one time he wanted me to make a trid show starring me, White, me, and the rest of our crew. It was going to be about a daily life in a triad. He wanted to make it a sitcom. Don't know what's so comedic about extortion, racketeering, and assault. That's his strange little brain for you. Alright, keep safe, Shen. I'm going to ignore the bar because, again, I don't find them that interesting. And they want to talk sea shanties with me, and nah. Alright, Max Law. Maxi. Lorzo. Yo, Ranneko, how can I style out the carnival? What do you need? Me for tech, show me what you got. Okay, so we've got these things, Virtua X and the Novatech. I'm currently rocking what am I actually rocking? And I'm not going to sell it. I'm rocking a Ranneko Craftwork, right? And obviously I would like to get my hands on one of these babies, but I do not have frickin' 3,400 new yen on me. I've got 500. So I guess we're ignoring that. See you later, Law. You gotta go? Okay, watch your back and shoot straight and all. I've got things to do too. Alright, now let's chat with Ambrose, and I think we are done. As long as we're ignoring the club, which we are, because I don't know. Too many people that are unlikely to have any plot importance. These dreams are getting out of hand, Ranneko. You got them too, right? I normally wake up more tired than when I fell asleep, but this is nuts. Let's talk about reliable Matthew. What about Matty? Sounds like he's in a bad situation with his suppliers. Matty's always in a bad situation with his suppliers. He's a terrible businessman, and the used drone selling, well, that's a brutal business. Always have more metal on the lot than you can afford, and the commissions are a pittance. Matty doesn't want help to do something else, though. He wants to hole up with his little drone buddies and be left alone. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Why are you giving him beetles? Why am I giving him beetles so he doesn't have to get cheaper shit that's gonna fry his brain from a street dealer? That's why. These cool blues are pharmaceutical breed. Their tracks run clean and clear as live opera. Patient confidentiality. I've already said too much. He's medicated. God knows he deserves it. Fair enough. Sounds like he has a medical need. That he does. What's his deal? He's a shy, sensitive guy who's had a rough life and now's got a shit job selling people the thing they love to hate. That poor guy, he wouldn't harm a fly, but if there's someone who should have failure to adapt tattooed on their forehead, it's Maddie. I commend you for thinking about him, Ranneko. I really do. A lot of cases like Maddie come through my door, and I feel for him. If I didn't have this gig, I'd be right there with him. But by the grace of Croman, booty I go. To reliable Matthew, hold true, little buddy. There's a rest for you at the end of the tunnel. To reliable Matthew. Right, yes, because he's making a mock toast. You know. May he hang in there. Alright, let's talk about something else. This is getting depressing. Let's see your services. Cyberware. Is there anything that we would want? I think, again, we're just, like, now there's a skill requirement. And, even if we didn't, like, I just don't see much point in any of these for us. Alright, tailored pheromones could potentially be useful. Because once you've dumped a little bit into the cyberware stuff, right, then you can do some things. I'll chat with him in a moment. I just want to finish the thought, right? So once you get cybered up, right, let's have a look at the body section with cyberware affinity, right? So this unlocks cyberware. At this point, nope, nothing. So when, okay, so this is where we suddenly start being able to exceed attributes. But I think it's cyberware we're meant to be able to use, like they're meant to be permanent boosts. So we can still use them for skills. But yeah. Anyway, irrelevant. Could be relevant if we had a ton of extra karma. Because we could take basically all of this. Not that. This one, we need 6. So I shudder to think how much karma we'd need to waste. And then we could dump and get enough for 1 extra etiquette. And I just, you know, don't think that's going to happen. Probably not going to be worth it. And traditionally it doesn't actually give us the etiquette, as I recall from Cyber in previous games. So don't think it's going to matter. Alright, cool. Now let's chat with him. So, Ambrose. So after you got smashed up, how'd you become a street dog? You want to keep going with this, Ranneko? Alright. After that ambush, things were desperate for a long time. We had to borrow a lot of money. Karen had blown ears and a brain injury, and I was a chunk of raw meat. I was so bad I was almost euthanized. Shit, I wanted to be put down. Then we turned the tide. Well, hold on, where's Karen now? That's a raw nerve, Ranneko. Karen betrayed me. Don't want to talk about it. So, how did you pay all that money back? I'm getting to that. Short answer is I'm still paying it back, but I'm gaining ground. Tell you what, it's not the money that's hard, it's the favors. I owe kindness so many favors I'll probably never pay them all off. This clinic lets me do a lot of things I like, but I have to do things I don't like. So don't ask about that, I can't tell you. So how did you turn the tide? Land the plane. I'm in a hurry. Our hall had a really high-grade medical program in it. And I figured out a wild clutch and how to run on my cyber. We borrowed a bunch of money from Canley Cheng and the Kaffite tribe and set up Chrome Alley. Rest is history. I thought we'd make a killing. Maybe it's not a killing, but it's turned out to be a pretty good life. You don't worry about the program's owners running after you? Hey, I worry about a lot of people coming after me. Nobody ever really gets out of the shadows, but my trail's cold. I've had this thing 5 years now. Ripshot's dead. 10-armed Ambrose lives here now. Show me your services. Oh, we already had this. Ah, bugger. Let's see what he's got med-wise. Yeah, no, nothing we care about. Cool. Alright, goodbye. Cheers, Ranneko. Talk to you later. Alright, so that is actually Heoi done. only 45 minutes. So next time around, we're going to do Gaichu's run. We're going to take out his team, because nothing says friendship with a horrible monster like killing his previous family unit.